This is Talk Business and Politics with Roby Brock.
Joining me now is Matuschka Briggs. She is the Vice President and Regional Executive for the Little Rock branch of the St. Louis Federal Reserve Bank. Good to visit with you. Good to have you on the show. Welcome to Arkansas.
Roby, thank you so much. I'm excited to be here. It's been fun so far.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I want folks who have not had the chance to meet you yet, and I don't know this story. Tell me a little bit about your growing up and where you grew up, where you were educated, and kind of how you found your way to the Federal Reserve Bank.
I'm from Central America, believe it or not. That's where I was born, Panama City, Panama, and Air Force brat. So we traveled around quite a bit. Learned English in second grade in Sacramento at Mather Air Force Base. And then our traveling kind of landed us in Enid, Oklahoma. So that's pretty much what I did with my childhood. I was mostly in central part of the United States, so I'm used to rural America, and that's where I grew up. As far as education, I went to William Woods in Fulton, Missouri, and back in the day, it was an all-girls school. And met a lot of my girlfriends that I'm very close with from Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Texas there. So it's nice to reunite with them. And then I got my MBA at Washington University in St. Louis. So that's a little bit of my education. And from there, I went and started with NBC in Des Moines, Iowa. And I was really in the thick of rural America, Roby. I was doing seed corn, feed corn, soybean reporting, and then gradually, I came out and started doing general reporting, health reporting, and political reporting. So I do feel that it has brought me full circle into storytelling, which is what I do here, Roby. You know, I'm talking to civic and business and government leaders and bankers and trying to understand their story and what's going on. So I really think I've come full circle, and it's put me in a good place. The other part of it, I'll say, is that I've always learned to be part of my community. I love to volunteer, and I've sat on many boards throughout my career. So for me, that's another big part of this position, is being able to understand the talent pool and what I'm looking for when it comes to our industry councils, as well as my board of directors.
So you're telling me if I needed to send you on assignment as a correspondent for the Iowa caucuses, since there may be like 3 or 4 or 10 Arkansans running for president, you might be up to the task.
Absolutely. I did the Iowa caucuses. I will tell you, I had a wonderful dance with Tom Brokaw one night. So it was great. That NBC family kind of sticks together.
Tell me a little bit about who some of the mentors in your life have been. Who kind of helped shape you into the person that you are today? Who did you rely upon a lot?
The same 2 people that I rely upon now and I speak to every day, my parents, Roby. So again, being from another country and coming to the United States back in the day was not easy. And I just remember my parents always saying, if you do good things and you do the right things, you'll be surrounded by the right people. And I think that's true. My mom, if I would come home because a group didn't want to be with me, she'd be like, we're not trying to be part of any group. We're not trying to be part of any clique. Just do the right thing and work hard. And you know, our faith is a big part of my family. So to this day, I can only really thank my parents. They gave me all the tools that I need, and I will be forever grateful to them.
This is not your first stop in the Federal Reserve Bank. Tell me a little bit about how you exited reporting and got into Federal Reserve banking, for lack of a better verb.
Right. Most of my jobs, I would say, had to deal with communications, relationship building, everything that you do as a journalist, Roby. You know, you're out there, you're trying to talk to people, you're trying to understand what's going on. I started about 8 years ago in the Treasury Relations Support Office at the Fed, and it was working with a business line and a product that U.S. Treasury and Fiscal Service was working to get out. So I was out there talking to individuals about that product and building relationships. So it really just fell in line, lock and step with what I do. And then from there, I went to public affairs at the Fed. And again, same thing, it's communications. I worked a lot with the regional executives. So working with our 3 branches, Little Rock, Louisville, and Memphis, and understanding what the regional execs did as well as working with the regional economists and supporting the PA department really supported President Bullard. So I really got a bird's eye view on what this role would be and understanding all that it took to do this role. And that's when I really started developing my interest. From there, I moved to community development, which I would say kind of rounds it out because it's taking even a deeper dive in something that the Fed looks at, and they're always looking in the low to moderate income community. So I was able to see how they're working in the Delta with the Delta Forum, and not only in my region of Arkansas, but also looking at, the entire 8th district.
You've touched on this in a couple of answers that you've given, but I want to ask it a little bit more bluntly. What will your role be with the Little Rock branch here? Kind of what are you going to focus on specifically?
First, I want to say I am so honored to be here in Little Rock and to serve the state of Arkansas. The most of it, I will say that northeast part from Jonesboro up, that's really my Memphis colleague, but the rest of the state is mine. And what I'm going to start doing, Roby, is just listening and understanding and meeting people where they are when I'm out there talking to leaders in the community. And I say that because some people want to meet one-on-one. Others want me to come to an event or their annual meeting to understand what they're doing. Others want a roundtable, or some just want me to present. They understand that I know what's happening in the Fed, so they want to understand and have me demystify the Fed. So that's really where I'm going to start. As you know, data and research is so important to the Fed, but there is a lag to that. That's stuff that's happened in the past. And even though it's important, it makes my job pretty critical in understanding and talking to people and being able to find out what's happening real time, getting that anecdotal information. So that's really my role, and what I'll be doing is trying to understand. I will tell you, I have been traveling and there is a lot of good stuff happening in the natural state, but I also need to understand the pain points and the challenges, because what I do is I take all that information, I share it with our researchers, I share it with President Bullard to help them inform monetary policy.
I know you have made some rounds. I think I have seen, maybe you were up in Signature Bank recently. They're about to launch a bilingual bank up there. But just tell me, what has been the reception as you've been around the state, and just what, has anything kind of stood out to you so far?
The hospitality is overwhelming. I will say the big surprise is the food. I'm a foodie and the food is good in Arkansas, no matter where you are. And just driving through the state. So I really like the way the state has, welcomed me, opened their arms to me. It's really, really meant a lot to me. And again, when you're talking about the Fed, two things that are important to us are stable prices and maximum employment. So my goal is to help maximize the quality of participation for the economy of the state. So when I'm talking and listening to people, that's something that I'm really hearing about a lot, is there's a lot of jobs and we really need to help with that job growth. So however I can do that, and talking to people, understanding, and I'm a convener. So if I can get leaders at the Fed or leaders within the state to work together and help with that job growth, I'm excited to do that. Again, I'm a convener, I'm a connector, and I'm a storyteller. That's really my role.
All right, you can come tell stories on our program anytime you'd like.
I'd be happy to do a story with you.
All right.